Would you rather live one day as a lion or 100 years as a sheep? If you were to ask the average person today this question, they would most likely choose the latter. But if you were to ask the average ancient Greek the same question, they would most likely choose the first. But why is that? I believe this has a lot to do with our culture, religious beliefs, and our view on human nature. Specifically, what we have been led to believe is the purpose of all living things. Today, I'll be discussing how our culture, views on death, and Darwinism are holding us back from fulfilling our true purpose and turning us into a bunch of pussies. Today, we're often led to believe that our sole purpose in life as a living organism is to merely survive and reproduce, to self-preserve and to avoid death at all costs. This perspective promotes the idea that self-preservation and avoidance of death are our fundamental instincts. Almost half of life's meaning is encapsulated in these basic drives, but much like Nietzsche, I contend that this survival-centric view applies primarily to those forms of life that are unhealthy or disordered, or what Nietzsche himself might refer to as botched life. When vibrant, healthy life is stifled or confined, it can lead to a rejection of reproduction or even a profound desire to escape existence altogether. This phenomenon is strikingly evident in certain animals held in captivity, such as those in zoos, where some animals choose not to reproduce and may display behaviors that suggest a wish for death. Similarly, some men would rather choose death over a life of slavery and dishonor. Therefore, just as not all animals are driven solely by the instincts of survival and reproduction, it is equally true that not all men are content with such a narrow existence. Instead, many strive for power. According to Nietzsche, power can only manifest itself against resistance. Therefore, if healthy life strives for power, it must also constantly seek out resistance. In this regard, no other culture exemplified this notion of embracing struggle quite like the Homeric Greeks. The term agon, translates to contest, conflict, or struggle, was fundamental to their society. It represented not merely competition, but an essential aspect of their identity. In various facets of life, Greek men engaged in competitions that included athletic events, chariot racing, and horseback riding. Over time, this competitive spirit even extended to music and the arts. Constantly seeking resistance and getting better from it was part of every Greek citizen's life. As Camille Paley puts it, the Greeks defined existence as a struggle or a contest. Agon, the tested and built character. To strive to be the best was a moral duty. Life was a perpetual game or a race with little hope of rest. The word virtue originates from virtos, which means manliness, and arate, meaning excellence or fulfillment. For ancient Greeks, you were only virtuous if you fought bravely and effectively. You were a bad man if you were weak, cowardly, and stupid. This cultural ideal fermented in their literature and mythology, revealing their values and ideals. The archetype of this ethos is vividly illustrated in the story of Achilles. Achilles was renowned for his strength, skill, and bravery in battle. He chose a short, glorious life over a long, domestic, unremarkable one. Even in death, Achilles is remembered for his greatness, with his name living on in legend. Therefore, if unhealthy life seeks immortality through their offspring and self-preserving, then healthy life seeks immortality through the stories and achievements they will be remembered by. The Greek idea of facing challenges and aiming for excellence is very different from the way we view life today. We live in an age where medical advancements have extended our lives significantly. Death has become something to be avoided at all costs, but at what price? We've seen a rise in what some call medical vitalism, the belief that life should be preserved regardless of its quality. We keep people alive on machines, extend lives filled with suffering, all because we're terrified of letting go. This fear of death has seeped into how we live. We play it safe, we avoid risk, we choose the comfort of the herd over the challenges of blazing our own trail. In essence, we've chosen to be sheep rather than lions. In trying to avoid death at all costs, we often fail to truly live. We sacrifice our dreams, our potential, our chance at greatness, all for the illusion of safety. Nietzsche argued that to live fully, we must embrace all aspects of life, including its end. He encouraged us to live in a way that we'd be willing to repeat over and over for eternity. This is not to glorify a premature death or to dismiss the value of medical advancement, and this is not me telling you to join the military and die in a meaningless war in the name of the military-industrial complex or for the benefit of some rich elites. But what I am trying to advocate for is that if you have a healthy life, like Nietzsche says, don't let the world that you currently live in discourage you from truly living like a lion. Say yes to life in all its aspects, like many of our ancestors did. You are now fighting a different kind of battle. One that I say is much more or equally difficult to the ones your ancestors had. Think about it. Since the day you were born, the programming to keep you weak and docile began. From the way the education system is set up, to the way they heavily medicalize you if you can't sit still in a damn chair. If many of the great thinkers like Da Vinci, Aristotle, Plato, Michelangelo, Alexander, Napoleon were born in today's world, they would have been lobotomized by the ADHD medication the school system loves to hand out. And the algorithms of multi-billion-dollar companies that are designed to steal your attention and keep you doom scrolling, distracting us from our true goals and ambitions. The odds are stacked against us. The choice between living as a lion or a sheep isn't just about how we face death, it's about how we embrace life. It's about daring to burn bright, leaving a mark and fully realizing our potential. This doesn't mean to recklessly risk our own selves, but rather living with a purpose and intensity. Remember, the goal isn't to merely survive, but to fully live, so that when death comes, you can face it without regret. Embrace the agon of life, to seek out challenges, relish in the struggle, and in doing so, discover the true depths of your potential. Christ is King, let's go.